Good evening, Facebook. This is a very, very different kind of gig. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you are in the world. I know there's a few of you out in the States. Really, really appreciate you joining in and watching, and same to you in obviously in the UK. If any of you out in Australia and New Zealand, big welcome to you as well. Really, really nice to see you. This is my first time doing the streaming thing. It's a very unique kind of nervous this. I've actually got my laptop set up here, so if any of you want to comment and say hello, then do please feel free, and I'll do my best to respond to you. And yeah, I'm just going to play about an hour's worth. I thought I'd start the video a couple of minutes early, just so you can get ready and grab yourself a beer, grab yourself whatever it is you want to drink. Oh yeah, the video's working now, there we go. 9 people already, hey, good to see you. I'm going to play you, basically tonight's gig is going to be a usual Dan Walsh gig, apart from the fact that none of you are here and I'm in my living room. So I'm going to play you a bunch of stuff from my albums, hopefully a couple of surprises as well. And also future, I'm going to be doing some more live gigs, which will be kind of themed. So I might do, I'm probably going to do some gigs where I play some of my previous albums in their entirety. And I'm going to play you, probably do a covers gig at some point with a load of random songs that you've probably never heard me do unless you've seen me in a pub, and various other things. But I think it's time to play right now, so I'm going to kick off with one of my favourite tunes in the world, a great jig called Calliope House by the legendary Dave Richardson, and that's going to go into a tune of mine, and this is called Tuesday Night Session. Thank you very, very much. That's really weird finishing a song and not hearing anything, but I'm sure you're clapping at home and that would be lovely. I hope you really enjoyed that. I'm going to carry on with a song. This is called The Light of Day, and I suppose this is quite appropriate for the moment, because this is basically a song about being nice to each other and just making that conscious effort to say hello to someone, or in the current climate, I guess, give them a ring. but this is a song called The Light of Day. I've realised I've forgotten to do something really crucial, and my wonderful girlfriend, yes, banjo players have girlfriends too, if my girlfriend could do me a favour and type this in the comments, there is a PayPal page if you are enjoying what you hear. I am completely unable to gig for quite some time, obviously, so this really is like my means of trying to gig. So the address that you need is paypal.me/Dan Walsh Banjo, and you can chuck in whatever you like, and do if you feel like donating, that would be lovely. When I was young, I told my mum that I wanted to be a busker. I never thought it would be quite like this. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying the gig, and this is a little song called Light of Day. Indeed. Thanks for listening. I see a few of you have commented. How nice to see you, Joe Broughton from the Urban Folk Quartet, my band. You'll be hearing a lot more of us during this extraordinary situation, actually. We're going to be doing a whole week of live content later on in the month. So stay tuned to our page for that. The Urban Folk Quartet, if you don't know, is a band that I'm in, featuring two extraordinary fiddle players, Joe Broughton and Paloma Trigas, and their lovely daughter Sabella. Hello Sabella, I gather you're watching. And also Tom Chapman, who is the most amazing percussionist and it is a great pleasure to play with those guys. And we got 2 gigs into our spring tour before it was sadly curtailed, but we will be back later in the year, hopefully, for our autumn tour. And as I say, you can see us later in the month. Anyway, and thank you very much for your comments. Frank Burkett, clap, clap, clap. Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. I'm glad to know you're all tuned in. I'm going to carry on with a new song. Now, many of you probably know I'm originally from a little town called Stafford, and there's probably quite a few of you from Stafford watching. One of the great things about being from a town that size is I've got so many friends in Stafford. It really is a place that's full of people who've been very supportive down the years. And like a lot of towns, it's suffered in recent years from the sort of rise of internet shopping. The high streets sort of perhaps had better days, but what I always find very heartening is that the people in the town always keep events going, keep live music happening. And this song is very much for them. This is a song called Still a Town. Beth and John, great to hear from you. Glad you're watching. Oh, hello, Millie. My cousin. Oh, and my former maths teacher, I think I just saw. I didn't quite see what the comment was. What was that? Let's have a look. Stafford's on the map again. Oh, yes. It's all you banjo players have their uses. So this is called Still a Town. Here we go. From the old town, I look around the empty streets, there's much to get me down. Great places to drink and more, but fewer people through the door on the streets of the old town. I don't want to see this place go down. It's time trap, but there are those who want to pull it round. It hasn't run into the ground, but as long as there's people, there's still a town. An iconic building standing empty, the world's oldest grocer, it sure has been through plenty. But hope comes from seeing the place become social and given space on the streets of the old town. I don't want to see this place go down. It's time trap, but there are those who want to pull it round. Hasn't run into the ground, but as long as there's people, there's still a town. I don't want to thank. Kind of feel a sense of pride at blocks outside the bank. But to those who meet and greets with the tens of people on the streets, you bring hope to the old town. I don't want to see this place go down. It's time trap, but there are those who want Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. It's amazing that, isn't it? After saying thank you so much, you could be booing for all I know. But I really appreciate you watching, and comments flying past, which is really nice. From Ottawa and Boston. Look at that. God, the power of the internet, eh? Well, thanks so much for tuning in wherever you are. John, no, I'm not wearing slippers. So he's referring to the legendary Market Vaults in Stafford, which is the pub I started playing at way back in 1682. And I actually lived there for a little while, unofficially. The wonderful landlord and landlady at the time, Sam and Sherelle, very generously gave me a room above the pub in exchange for a few free gigs, which was very nice. And yes, I used to wear slippers at the gig as a joke, but I'm not actually wearing slippers at all. I've just got socks on. Anyway, speaking of Stafford, I'd like to, when I do these live gigs, and I will be doing more of them, I would like to give a shout out to some local businesses as well. So I would very much like to give a shout out to Candid Beer in Stafford, who do some fantastic beers that you can order, and you can have like a multi-pack of amazing craft beer. So please support your local businesses at this time. And I actually now live in Shropshire. I've moved to Shrewsbury, which is where I am now. So I'd like to give out a shout out to a Shropshire business too, the Stables Inn in Hopesgate, who do a fabulous takeaway at the moment, and it's a really, really nice pub. So do, as I say, do support your local businesses. And that would be very much appreciated. And I'm going to carry on with some tunes. Speaking of Shropshire, I'm going to play 3 new tunes on the border, because I kind of am now. A tune called The Line, which is named after a fabulous pub in Westbury. And then finally a tune called Ready for the Off. Oh, thanks so much for your comments, guys. It's really nice. Frank, you're playing along on the bagpipes. I would give anything to hear that. Oh, and a shout out to the Dettol. Yes, do you like the display? My wonderful girlfriend put this display together. We've got Dettol here. We have a duck, which she bought in Brighton, and very quickly wondered why she bought it in Brighton. But look at it now. It's my mascot, and it's balanced on 2 loo rolls as well, which we thought was appropriate for the theme. Anyway, this set is called On the Border. Good to see you all. Oh, hello from Eton Constantine in Shropshire as well. Constantine. It is Constantine, not Constantine, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's a village I played in Shropshire recently, and it was very lovely. And I did see Pete's comment as well about the whiskey. I did think about that. I thought maybe I should have a glass of whiskey, true to form, but I went for a pint instead. Beardy Folk Festival, wonderful festival. That's going to be on in September now, I gather. And I thought I'd have a beer instead. Well, I'm going to switch instruments for this next one. And I'm hoping, well, this is a song by a fantastic guitarist called Leo Moran of the Saw Doctors, who are the most fantastic Irish band. And I'm hoping that Leo is actually watching. If you are, then hey Leo. This song is called At Least Pretend, and it's one of my absolute favourite songs. And if you're, this is the point where I usually say if you fancy singing along. I suppose that's still true. It's just I won't be able to hear you. You can sing along with minimum embarrassment. So the last line of each verse of this song is, "I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine." So if you're with your partner or whatever, just give them a hug on this one. It's a nice little song. And this is At Least Pretend. It's from a very obscure album called Friends Demos B-Sides, which is out of print now, I think, but it's a Saw Doctors album of old demos and B-sides, which my parents bought when we went to see them many moons ago. And this is called At Least Pretend. Now when you look out your window in the darkness of night, two eyes staring back at you, guess who? You right first time. Would you be my guardian angel? Would you be my Valentine? Oh, I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine. Well, I've been to see my doctor and he tells me I'm not well, and he seems to think that I have been put under some strange spell. He tells me that my heart is beating slightly out of time. Oh, I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine. Well, I've been a long time rambler and a solitary man, but these days my heart, it's crying out, please change this man. Pretend it might be something, you might change your mind in time. Oh, I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine. And every time I pass you by, I feel a strange sensation, and I'd be your boy forevermore without a moment's hesitation. Out your window in the darkness of night, two eyes staring back at you, guess who? You're right first time. Would you be my guardian angel? Would you be my Valentine? Oh, I I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine. Oh, I wish that you'd at least pretend that you were only mine. Thank you very much indeed. Well, I'm going to switch back to the main instrument, but the guitar will be back before the end. So, I haven't really done much in the way of bluegrass just yet. Our good sis here, Ian, Norton Bridge, thanks so much for tuning in. I had many a happy time playing in the sadly no more railway pub in Norton Bridge. God, I used to get seriously drunk after those gigs. But I had a whale of a time there. And James Baskett, oh, great to see James. James co-wrote a good many of my songs in my early music making, and we were in a band together back in school. Paul, guitar back, why? I know, man, I know. Like, who needs the guitar? I mean, who needs the guitar when you got this? Paul's also a banjo player, I happen to know. But one thing I haven't really done much yet is a bit of the old yeehaw bluegrass, so I'll let rip on that now. I think this is a tune which I wrote, and this is called Late Night Drive. Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to carry on with a song. Hello to all of you. Oh, it's so nice to hear from so many of you. Andrea and Paul, great to hear from you. Many a happy evening has been spent at Andrea and Paul's house, which I usually remember a lot more about the start of the evening than the end of the evening. Tends to involve a lot of whiskey, cheese, and listening to records, which I think is one of the best ways you can possibly spend your time. So I'm going to carry on with a song. This is called Real Late Starter. This is by Narina Pallet. However you pronounce her name, this is by her. And this is one I don't do all that often, so it's really nice to play it for you now. This is Real Late Starter. Thanks. Oh, I'm enjoying the clapping icons. Thank you very much. Very, very much appreciated. I could get used to this.
day. Actually, I do it every day, yeah. Got no place to be seen on a part of a scene, but I'm a genius loser, keeping counsel with my own opinion. President of the state that I'm in. Should I just stay in bed? Should I live in my head? I've got so many questions to ask. Oh, you could call me lazy. I think of it as taking my time, 'cause I don't wanna do what I don't wanna do. I'm the king refusing. But oh my God, if I was somebody, I'd be doing it all just fine. But I'm a real late starter, and I'm making up for lost time. Oh my God, if I was somebody, you'd be kissing my ass right now. But I'm so polite, I do it all of the time. I miss my calling in life. Yeah, well. Day by day I wonder if I should be torn asunder by these things that I know that nobody else knows. Maybe it's a drink and I think we should consult the Bible. Everybody needs a sign of. Bless the birds and the bees and the flowers and trees. Blessed be the slacker. But oh my God, if I was somebody, I'd be doing it all just fine. But I'm a real late starter, and I'm making up for lost time. Oh my God, if I was somebody, you'd be kissing my ass right now. But I'm so polite, I do it all of the time. I miss my calling in life. Must be having a life. Must be having a life. No point in worrying if my day's a disaster. Inside my little head, I'm happy ever after. Yes, I am. Oh my God, if I was somebody, I'd be doing it all just fine. But I'm a real late starter, and I'm making up for lost time. Oh my God, if I was somebody, you'd be kissing my right now. But I'm so polite, I do it all of the time. Oh my God, if I was somebody, I'd be doing it all just fine. But I'm a real late starter, and I'm making up for lost time. Oh my God, if I was somebody, you'd be kissing my ass right now. But I'm so polite, I do it all of the time. I miss my calling in life. Oh, what am I like? Yeah, well.
Thank you very much indeed. So I will carry on. I've had several people message me asking for this one, so I shall gladly play it for you. This is rapidly becoming an old favourite now. I wrote it in 2013, 14, something like that, and recorded it on an album called Incidents and Accidents. Incidentally, you can buy all my albums as well. I should have mentioned that. All my albums are available from my website, and I can send them out to you. And it'd be £12 including postage and packaging. My girlfriend, again, she has some considerable influence, as you may have gathered. She felt that my merch stand at gigs needed pimping up. So she got this little light box here which says Dan Walsh CDs on it. So I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, you can order those from me. And this is a tune called The Whiplash Reel, which I wrote after going to India. And if anyone from India is watching, hello to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've had some amazing times out there. And and was lucky enough to play with some fantastic musicians. I've got a single out, Suhail Yusuf Khan, who I was very privileged indeed to do a tour of the UK with, and who remains a great friend. This is a tune that basically combines my sort of love of Irish music and Indian music. So this is called the Whiplash Reel. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for listening. Cheers. Well, I'm going to carry on with something rather calmer than that. I'm going to play you Pete, I'd be delighted to try and teach you that tune. In fact, it's in my book. Dan Walsh, Tabs from the Vault. It is in that book if you're a banjo player and fancy giving that one a go. I'm also seeing a few comments about lights, just to let you know. You can actually read that more easily with the light off, for some reason, in this particular setting. We did a bit of a test run. Thank you very much, Steve, by the way, for being the voluntary guinea pig on that one, and Nick and Dan as well, all three of you. The fairy lights, yeah, they don't come off so well, apparently.
I can try.
But anyway, this is another... Oh, there they are. Oh, no. Oh, those are on. Okay, we've got the flower fairy lights on at least. Thank you, Nicole. So I'm going to carry on with a traditional Irish song. This is called the Sulin, and this is one of my favourite songs in the world. I first heard it when I was... First heard it when I was about 3 or 4. Sung by a magnificent ballad singer from the west of Ireland called Brendan Burke, and his son John went on to help form the Saw Doctors, who I mentioned earlier. So once again, this one's for Leo if he's watching, because Leo did me a really big favour and sent out the lyrics to this one, and also verified that it is definitely traditional and I wasn't accidentally stealing it from someone. So this is called the Sulin. We've got some fairy lights on, but sadly not these ones. In an emergency fairy light mission, I accidentally bought solar ones, which essentially don't work inside. So they're kind of for decoration, but not very good decoration. Anyway, this is called the Sulin.
Many rivers of Ireland are famed the world o'er, and now to that number I'll add just one more. It's a sweet little river I'll sing of to you. It's a stream called the Sulin that floats through Clontoon. It's not a great river, it's just a small stream, and in faraway lands many times in my dreams I have seen the dear Sulin way over the blue, as it quietly meanders along by Clontoon. Days long ago, the itinerant class never paid a ransom for a feed for an ass. They just turned them out loose like they all used to do, and grazed by the Sulin that floats through Clontoon. Well, there's fish in the Sulin and jarrogs galore, so why would you go all the way to Clonmore? You can catch all you want from Snipe Ledge to Glassroo if you fish in the Sulin that floats through Clontoon. Well, they say Sulin waters can banish all ills, so forget about spas and quack doctors and pills. Just strip off your clothes down the old Rooney Roo and bathe in the Sulin that floats through Clontoon. There's a bridge across the river not far from the plan. I have sported and played there from boyhood to man. Many's the horse had to tough and an ass got low too. Has crossed over the Solent that flows through Clontoon. All around Clontoon harbour there are many fair scenes to compare with the best in the silence so green. But all of that takes second place in my view to that stream called the Solent that flows through Clontoon. To that stream called the Solent that floats through Clontoon.
Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed that little one. I'm going to carry on with another song. I've just been informed that my mum and my sister, and I think my dad, are watching. My dad isn't a Facebooker, but I bet you can watch it even if you're not. So hello to my wonderful family, and they are really wonderful. And obviously we're all going through a pretty hard time at the moment, as everybody, and it's really, really great to have the support of such a wonderful family. I think my granny's probably watching too, so hello to my granny, and all my wonderful cousins, and just all of you. It's great. So many comments going past. I'm sorry I can't quite keep up, but I really, really appreciate it. That last one was called the Sulin. Sorry, thanks. I'm going to play a guitar song for you now. I'm getting quite near the end, aren't I? Blimey. I even managed to talk too much when there's no audience. It's ridiculous. I have also had a number of requests for this next one. So I shall certainly do this one. So this is a... do you know what? I'm definitely going to run over, but I don't care. I'm just going to run over anyway. So I'm going to do 3 more for you. And this is one of 2 that have been quite heavily requested that I'm still to do. This is... I noticed Steve from the Ram Folk Club requested this one just then. Thanks so much, Steve. Really sorry that I'm not going to be playing the Ram Folk Club as part of my May solo tour, which obviously, for obvious reasons, is not really happening now. But this one's for you, Steve. This is what's called The Song Always Stays, and this is one I wrote about a remarkable man called Glenn Mason, who is an amazing Scottish singer and actor, and I had the great privilege of playing to him in his twilight years when he was at a care home in Surrey. And Nick Supardi, if you're still watching, this is one that I played with Nick. And this is a... Joe's just instructed me to plug my PayPal more. Quite right. PayPal.me/Dan Walsh Banjo if you feel like donating. And Nicole has typed the link there in the comments as well. And I will add it to the status, which I meant to do before the gig started. But anyway, this one is for, as I say, this is about Glenn Mason, an amazing man, and I played for him just towards the end of his life, and happily sort of accidentally managed to help him find his singing voice again, which was a wonderful thing. So this is called The Song Always Stays, and I'd like to dedicate this to any of the staff who work at care homes, because I played quite a lot of care homes before this virus struck, and it's some of the most enjoyable work that I do, and I think what you guys do is absolutely amazing. So this is for you. This is called The Song Always Stays.
These 2 stand before me with instruments in tow. The chairs all around me filled with people I don't know. I've heard that tune before somewhere, but I can't remember when. But it helps me perform again. I don't know when I got here. It may have been a week ago, or it may have been some years. Sometimes there's a laugh and sometimes a tear, but the song always stays. The audience is there, but I can't see the stage. The jet black hair is grey, and I start to feel my age. But that song line is taking me to that time of my life when the stage lights shone so bright. I don't know when I got here. It may have been a week ago, or it may have been some years. Sometimes there's a laugh and sometimes a tear, but the song always stays. These two want to talk to me. It seems I'm not just history. I have a voice, I have a choice, a meaning beyond just sitting here. I didn't sing that song at all for 20 years or more. I sing it now to people who are dancing by the door. Once a week I'm me again, the me from times of old. And my story now gets told. I don't know when I got here. It may have been a week ago, or it may have been some years. Sometimes there's a laugh and sometimes a tear, but the song always stays. I don't know when I got here. May have been a week ago, or it may have been some years. Sometimes there's a laugh and sometimes a tear, but the song always stays. But the song always stays.
Thanks very much, everyone. And I've got two more for you. And I have had a number of people ask me for this next one. And some of my happiest memories have been spent playing this song in the Market Vaults over in Stafford, where this song generally gets everybody on their feet. So if you're at home, you can have a dance. No one can even see you. It's fine. Just get up and have a boogie. This is from my favourite album in the world ever, which is by a gentleman called Paul Simon. And a few of you have asked me to do this one, so I'm always happy to.
Down the street and says, why am I salt in the middle now? Why am I salt in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't want to end up a cartoon in a cartoon graveyard. Bone digger, dogs in the moonlight, far away from my welded door. Just to be a belly, get these months away from me, you know. I don't find this stuff amusing anymore. But if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be a long lost pal. I can call you Betty when you call me, you can call me out. Man walks down the street and says, why am I short of attention? Got a short little span of attention. Oh, my nights are so long. Where's my wife and family? What if I die here? Who'll be my role model? Now that my role model's gone, he's stuck back down the alley with some roly-poly little bat-faced girl. All alone, there were incidents and accidents, there were hits and allegations. But if you'll be my bodyguard, I can be a long lost pal. strange world. Maybe it's a third world, maybe it's his first time around. Doesn't speak the language, he holds no currency. He's a farm man, he's surrounded by the sound of cattle in the marketplace, gatherings and orphanages. He looks around, he sees angels in the architecture, spinning in infinity. It's his aim and hallelujah. If you'll be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me, you can call me out, call me out.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. It's nice to see your comments flashing past again, particularly from my wonderful former neighbours Adrian and Val. I should really have mentioned Newcastle by now, a city where I spent 7 years, and it is one of my favourite places on this earth, and the people are just magnificent. And Adrian and Val are officially the best neighbours of all time. So a big shout out to you. I guess I'm coming just to the end of the gig. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in. I've no idea exactly how many of you it's been, but I've seen so many comments come past from people all over the world, and it really, really does mean a lot. We're all going through a really hard time now. I'm not going to give you a big sob story, but obviously as a musician, to not be able to gig live is pretty devastating, to be honest, and this is a pretty fantastic substitute thanks to you all wonderful people. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed what you've heard, paypal.me/danwalshbanjo. I'd really appreciate anything you've got. Just think of it as a virtual tip jar. Just chuck in whatever you feel. I would really, really appreciate that. Help keep me going until gigging resumes. Well, cheers. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as I say, the Urban Folk Quartet, my band, will be, I was about to say we'll be on the road. That's not quite right, but we'll be all over Facebook the week beginning 20th of April. We'll be live every night with all kinds of weird and wonderful stuff. So do stay tuned for that. And I'm going to give you no, I don't know any Ed Sheeran, John, sorry. And I will leave you with this. It's my traditional set closer, I suppose. With a few tunes to finish off. And I'm going to start off with a slow tune called Jox's Tune, which is what the Market Vaults in Stafford used to be called. Jocks of Brady's, so that's the Jox's Tune. A second tune's called The Vaults, because I thought, when it changed names I should write another tune for the pub. So that's the second tune. Third tune is called Summer Rain, and those three I wrote, and then the final tune is a wonderful traditional tune called The High Reel. Adrian's got no money. That's totally fine. A room is fine. A room is more than ample, I can promise you that. Seriously, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and do look after each other, and stay in touch as well. Let's face it, we're all at home a lot, so do stay in touch. And thank you to everybody, and I'm going to leave you with this. This is called Jox's Set. Thanks so much. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. PayPal.me/DamWalshBanjo if you fancy chucking in a few quid. But otherwise, it's been really, really nice to see you. Really, really appreciate all the comments, and particularly appreciate those where you said this has really helped. As a musician, that is generally all I'm usually trying to do, is just if I can make a few people's evening, then that is seriously really lovely. So look after yourselves. I'll see you very soon. I'll do another one of these soon. And thanks so much for listening. Thank you.